Well, hey there, Stampin' friends. It's Leslie with LuvINK&Paper. And you know, it's Tuesday. It's 7 o'clock, so here I am. I actually won't be live next Tuesday. I'm going to be enjoying the 4th of July with Richard. I'm not sure what we'll be doing, but I will not be doing a live. I will film something and post it that day. So anyway, maybe I will work on that this week. So anyway, here we are, and we're just about a minute early. So I just wanted to remind you that the Designer Series paper sale and the starter kit or the Join Stampin' Up, whatever offer you want to call it, those both end on Friday. So the days are ticking down. So if you have been meaning to do something about one or both of those, then you should probably think about doing it soon. All right, it is 7 o'clock. So here we are. And this is my current host code that I'm using right now. Okay. So I mentioned yesterday that I would be sharing this with you. Okay. These are not currently available. Okay. They were available to me as a demonstrator to pre-order in order to participate in an event on Saturday, the 24th. So it was a Stampin' Up event. It was worldwide. It was held online. And we could pre-order the bundle so that we would have it. And oh, excuse me, I seem to have gotten the hiccups. And then we could participate and stamp along. Now you could register for that event, and you didn't have to buy the bundle, but it was available. It will be, this particular bundle, Translucent Florals, will be available in our September to December holiday catalog. Okay. There is a way you can get this before September, though. So if you love what you see tonight and you really, really want to get it, you will be able to pre-order it in August if you are a demonstrator. So that might be a good reason, in addition to the extra $30 in product that you get between now and Friday, to join Stampin' Up. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Okay, so the event shared some sneak peeks. It shared some behind the scenes kinds of things, and then it also, we were able to stamp 3 or 6, depending on how you look at it, projects along with the presenters. So the first one, so I already stamped the sort of stepped up version, so I'm going to stamp the more, the simpler version with you tonight, and then I'll show you the other version. Okay, so this is a piece of Poppy Parade, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I used the deckled rectangle dies to cut this out. Their directions said stamp first and then cut. I decided not to do it that way. All right. Because I'm a rebel, you know, like I just want to do it my way. All right, so we are going to take 2 of these blooms. So, well, you'll see them, so I'm going to just set those aside. I've got a couple of other things going on over there. All right, so I re-inked my Poppy Parade pad. It was acting a little weird, so hopefully it's behaving now. All right, so we're just gonna up here, do this one. And I love the way these were designed. The stamp set was designed to stamp so that it almost looks translucent, so the edges are darker than the petals. Okay, so we'll just do that one there and this one here, like that. And I'll just clean them really well later. Okay, so I think that's all. Oh, wait. Nope, it's not all. I forgot. We're supposed to do a little tone on tone so that the background isn't boring. All right, hang on. Okay, here we go. There, now we won't get too much ink all over the grid paper. Okay. So since we're going to put this big layer on, we really just need to do the edge. You don't have to do the whole thing. Okay. And I'm just turning both the stamp and the paper just to get a nice border. I sometimes forget. I mean, this was a thing back before we had a Stampin' and cut and emboss machine. We stamped our backgrounds. It was what we did back in the day, a long time ago, when I first started stamping. All right, well, okay, there. Okay, there. All right, now that still needs some cleaning. We're going to need some leaves for these flowers. So now the poppy parade can go away. Ooh, there we go. All right, we're done with that. So let's give this, so this would be one of those, well, almost. Yeah, you could call it a SIP card, because stamps, ink, and paper. You could get this look, this deckled edge look, by just tearing your paper. Okay, so you really could. You don't have to have the die cuts to get that edge. You could, I mean, you could just do it with by tearing the paper. So it's okay if you don't have a die cutting machine. Oops. Well, I guess that's where the greeting is going. Right? No mistakes in Stampin' Up, says my friend Barbara Lash. Right, Barbara? No mistakes. So let's put some leaves there. And I already did, because it was so super skinny, I already did this. So we just used the You're the Best. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals on this. Okay. That's probably good. All right. So here's this, like that. Then we'll just try not to make this too short. Yeah, like this. So we'll go here at an angle, and here at an angle, And then we'll put a couple, actually I'm going to use the edge like this. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that we cover that little small oops, just like that. Ha! Nobody would ever know. Okay, so that was sort of the simple SIPS, Stamps, Ink, Paper version. Okay, so let me show you the stepped up version, and I'll talk you through the differences. Okay, and some of you may be able to pick out the differences. So we used a second die and did like a border, a frame this time. So the directions from Stampin' Up! And the way the presenter on Saturday showed this card, they had everything lined up, like it was set back in like a puzzle piece. You could sort of see the line, but I thought, okay, that's just silly. Why go through the hassle of cutting a frame when you're not going to really see it? So I took some creative license and I did not do that. So I took the frame and tilted it just a little bit one way, and then I took the inset and tipped it the other way. Okay, so that was sort of, all right, so that's one difference. Don't count the difference of the embellishment because I just didn't do that yet. We will. So this one added another color. Okay, so we added Berry Burst to our Poppy Parade and Garden Green. Okay, we also added vellum. So in addition to stamping the flowers, I stamped them on vellum and then die cut them out. Same with the leaves. And then just put them on with glue dots. Now I aimed my glue dots for where there was a fairly heavy gathering of ink because they're much less likely to be noticed that way. Okay, and our You're the Best went in the Berry Burst ink as well. Okay, so just a little step up. Both really nice cards. I would not feel bad sending this card to anybody, but we just stepped it up just a tiny bit. Okay, let me add those here. Let me add the embellishments on this one so it won't feel naked. All right, let's grab this and we'll do one big, all right, here. Oh, there we go. We'll put the big one down here, okay, and then we'll put the two little ones, one here and one here. Okay, so there we go. Now it's not naked. So now really there's a few less changes. Okay, all right, so there's that one. Our next card had a gray granite base, and we did some stamping in gray granite. Now I did take the liberty of putting this stamping and die cutting that out for this stepped for this version, not the stepped up version. All right, let's grab my bone folder. Okay. All right, so we'll grab the gray granite and we'll need this piece, this stamp, and we're just gonna stamp one up here. Here, let me show you what this is what's gonna happen. So we've got one going here and one going here. Okay, so we'll put one kind of shooting out over here, and then we'll put one kind of shooting down this way. I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay, let's sort of clean things up here a little bit. Had a couple that needed a little TLC here. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, and then, yeah, that was all. Well, there is another step, and I just am not sure if I want to hassle with it. All right, so we're going to put some dimensionals on these, and I may actually end up, I did before, end up snipping this stem up just a little bit because it sort of gets in the way. Here we go. All right. So, one there, one here, one kind of in the middle, and one kind of down near the end. Okay, so we'll kind of put this first one kind of going up like that. Okay, then we'll add some dimensionals on this one, like that. Now they had done, and what I might do is just tear this so you can see how you could in that other one, not necessarily, you know what? No, okay. Okay, there we go. All right. So then what they did was they used the deckled rectangles and just did underneath. But let me just show you something. Okay. Especially if you find that you've cut something a little too wide, if you're very careful, you can just tear. Keep your paper shapers together. Okay. Like that. And then I can even take my scissors, I can even kind of rough it up a little bit more. Like that. Okay. So now I didn't use the deckled rectangles, but I got the same basic idea. All right, so stamp, ink, and paper is really all you need. All right, so I'm gonna just put this, I'm gonna go this way. Oh, you know what, if I do that, I need to support that end. Like that. Okay. There we go. All right. So let me show you the stepped up version. Okay, so we added some gems. They talked about using the classic matte dots. I had used all of my gray granite or smoky slate or whatever these light gray ones were in a swap. So I didn't have any more of that color. So I just added the copper clay because we had added copper clay as a color and copper clay as a ribbon underneath there. Okay. We also added embossing paste, and I made, using the dies, I made a little stencil. Just as an FYI, when you're working with white paste, don't use a bright colored cardstock like this, because some of because it's a wet product, some of it went in there. I don't hate it, but I was not as pleased as I could have been. So there's card number 2. All right. So our last one, oops, I'm not supposed to show you that one yet. You got a peek, didn't you? Okay. Let's find our card base and our greeting and this. Okay, so I already went ahead and did a little bit of the work. I do have a little bit more to do. This is not really a SIPS card. There's quite a lot of embossing and stuff here. All right, so we have the splatter embossing folder on this piece. So that's going to get dimensionals and go on our card front. They talked about using just regular basic white. I will not use regular basic white as a card base. We have the thick white, and that's what I like to use for my bases. I think regular basic white is too thin for a card base, especially if you're going to put stuff on it, more than one layer. All right, so we'll put that on there. Okay, and then we'll put our wishing you all the happiness in the world. I love that saying. I just love that. All right, so we're going to put that on with dimensionals. Okay, and then I have colored on the back of some just plain vellum cardstock, our plain vellum cardstock. Okay, so I colored on this side. So there's the side that's going to show. All right, so let me get, I brought my mini over here. And you don't really need to measure. Oh, yeah, I do have the dies. Come on, Leslie. So there are dies in here that cut out the stamped images, but there are also extra dies that cut other things out. I think I'm going to use, yeah, I'll use that one. I probably don't need both of those, but I'm going to do them anyway. So anyway, I just sort of eyeballed and colored. So if you just kind of hold your dies next to your paper, you can kind of see how much room you need. Okay, so let's bring this in here. Okay, we've got our base plate 1, we've got layer 2, and then we'll put, oops, I'll put this all on here, like that. Okay, and then we'll have this in here. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed how I staggered the plates so that they weren't lined up flush at the end. Because the mini is geared so tight and small, it really works better if you do that. It goes through much smoother. Okay. Let's put these back where they belong. Well, I may not know where they belong until I get these in. There we go. Okay. There. Okay. So these are the pieces that can go together to make a flower. So I just took a glue dot and put it kind of on the biggest part of one. And then you just kind of fiddle with it till it feels like where you want it. And actually there's not that much coverage, so I'm gonna just roll this a little bit. There, I think that'd be better. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, again, I think what they suggested I do, we didn't need the big leaf, is just use those leaves, but I really like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put one and tuck it under there. Now, you have to be a little bit careful if you want to do this, and I did on my sort of stepped up version. If you take and sort of just roll those a little bit with your thumb and bone folder, you just have to be careful not to tear them. Okay. And they'll just come off the page just a little bit. And we'll put another glue dot here. Okay. All right. So now we can kind of add that here. You know what? I'm going to put it up on this layer like that. So it's right on the edge of that layer. And then I will put a glue dot here and then sort of tuck this underneath like that. All right, now to make it look a little more like a poppy, we'll put this, whoops, not that way, like that, in the center. Okay. Okay. So that is sort of the non-stepped up version. That's sort of the basic version of that card. Okay, and let me show you the stepped up version. The stepped up version looks like this. We added a second flower, and the vellum is our printed vellum. So I colored on the back side so you can kind of see the print shining through there a little bit. And we added an extra flower. So we added one of the big ones and one of the little ones. Okay, so there you go. So that's just one of the sort of little benefits that being a demonstrator has, is you can go, you know, you can attend these events and ordering product early. So again, you could, if you chose to sign up as a demonstrator, you could order this bundle in August during the pre-order. So as demonstrators, we get to pre-order from the holiday, from that September to December catalog. That will go live to you guys sometime that first week of September. Probably, I don't know. I don't know exactly which date. I don't know if it's September 1st. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I actually haven't paid that close attention yet. All right, so let me just show you our sort of simple version and stepped up versions of these cards. Okay, so simple version here. Let me move these over a little bit, hopefully. There we go. Oh, maybe that's what I should do. Hold on. What if I do them that way? Okay, let's get you out of the way. All right. So there you go. Pretty fun. I hope that if you've ever thought about being a demonstrator, please don't let what I do scare you. You do not have to do what I do. You can just be a happy, happy shopper, and that is A-okay. All right, so there you have it. And we were nice and quick tonight. Hope that you enjoyed those. Thanks, Judy. Oh, I'm glad that you like seeing those side by side, Kathy. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I actually am going to post a video tomorrow that I filmed earlier today about another way to use your designer series paper, another 6x6 cutting diagram. And I will have something posted for you on the 4th. All right. So thanks, guys. I guess the next time I'll see you live is on the 11th. Take care. Have fun. Be safe on the 4th. Bye-bye.